Well, hello. How's it going, everybody? Man, this is a game that I have been playing a lot lately in my off time. It is called The Wandering Village by Stray Fawn Studios, and it's a fantastic game. Let's go ahead and get into a new game here, and we'll go with Adept, and I will name this YouTube. We can customize the difficulty. Villagers don't die. The Onbu, which is the giant creature that we are on the back of, and doesn't die, and then no manual saving. We're not going to turn any of that stuff on. We're just going to keep it Adept, and then we'll go on YouTube. This game does have Twitch integration, which is really neat because it allows the Onbu to be controlled by Twitch. So if you choose a path, the Onbu will decide to follow your directions or not based on what Twitch chat says, which is really interesting. I like that more games are doing that as a streamer. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find.
The Onbu is a giant turtle-like dog creature that we live on, and I'm going to immediately pause the game and give you guys an overview of what we have going on here. So this is our building environment. This is the back of the Onbu, and we can zoom out and have the picture of the Onbu. This is like the Onbu view, and we can either do that by hitting 5, and if we hit 6, this is our path. And all of these things are areas we can click on and send scouts, but we don't have any at the moment. And then on our path, we'll run into Nomads, which we can pick up and increase our population. Currently, we have 16. Everybody is unemployed because we don't have anything built at the moment. And there are other various events we can run into. This is our feeding spot. So over here, the Onbu will stop and eat. Here we can see the sleepiness meter and this is all for the Onbu here. This is the Onbu's health, the poison meter, the sleepiness meter, and the hunger meter. So we have to make sure that we're taking care of our Onbu because it's a symbiotic relationship where we take care of the Onbu and the Onbu takes care of us. So this is the big overview. Then coming back down to where we live as our people here. I like this art style. The 2D and 3D art style is wonderful. But we need to survive, so we have various things here. We have piles of stone, piles of wood, water, and food. Now, you may have heard me say that there's a poison level, which means that the Onbu will get poisoned, and so will we eventually. Not at the start on normal and veteran, or I'm sorry, normal and adept, but veteran you could start wherever. You could start in a different biome. We are currently in a mountainous biome where it's a little cold, normal humidity, and no poison, which is good. So let's get started. All right, so we'll open up our build menu here. We have roads, tents, worker posts, and research buildings, along with our storage, then our food, then we have resources, refinement, which we'll get into later, Onbu food, interactions with the Onbu, and then poison, and then of course our explorations, which is what I was talking about earlier with the scouts. Let's go ahead and start with a research building, and we will, let's see, so the green grass is what we're going to need for farming. And the dirt-like area is what we're going to need for growing mushrooms, which is what the Onbu eat. So we'll just go with a road down this way, and then a road down this way. And this is going to be where we start our life. So we'll have the research building here, and then I will put down some tents. And I guess we'll have some tents. Let's see. I'm feeling the tents over this way. So if you hold down shift, you can make a few tents. So let's see, we got 1, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10 tents. Or 10 people can live there, so that's 5 tents, and then we need a few more. It's 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Whoops. So every tent can house 2 villagers. Now we just got our research, so it's asking me what I want to research. I'm gonna go actually with none of these. So we can start our research in 3 different trees. We got the village tree, resource tree, and the Onbu tree. The village helps build up us as the villagers. So we've got things like the kitchen, we've got the scavenger hut, which is super important, so I'll probably go with that first. Or working towards that. But as you can see there, we need refined materials for scavenger hut. So before we can get that, we need to work on getting our sawmill and is it the sawmill? No. We'll need our carpenter and stonecutter. There we go. So we'll eventually need our carpenter and stonecutter. But as you can see, we're missing resources. That's what that little yellow bag means. So we're missing wood. So I'm going to go over here into the harvest tool. I'm going to select fully grown objects only, and then I'm going to click on trees. So I'm going to have these trees get cut down. And I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that was a crazy thunder that just happened outside the house. We'll have people start cutting down these trees. And then we're also going to do the same for rocks, because we will need all of these rocks to use. These things here are the Onbu spikes. We can harvest them for 30 stone, which seems good, but it reduces the trust of the Onbu. So it's kind of like a weigh your options. What's really better? Getting this 30 stone and having the creature that we live on not trust us, or letting it be, building around it, and then just kind of figuring our way otherwise. So let's go back in that research. I'm going to open up the kitchen. I'm going to start with the kitchen, and then I want to get into the scavenger hunt as quickly as possible, so that way I can start scavenging things. Go ahead and let this go. The roads cost nothing to make, but it allows us to move slightly faster. So that is why we have the roads going. That's why we kind of lay out your village with these roads. Okay, we got people building houses. These red flags here mean that there's not enough resources to build them. We do have, each time you build a building, you have people that work in there. Right now we have 2 researchers. That's why we got that working. We can also lock the building, which turns it off, or we can reduce the number of workers. All right, so we got our people up here working on our stone. To get that in here, we might want to prioritize chopping down these trees over collecting stone. So we can, as you see, when they finish this, they're going to start working towards the higher priority objects here, which are these trees, and these trees. And then once we have enough trees cut down, we'll be able to build these. And as a second priority, as a lower priority, I will have the tents being built. So that way we have people that are not unhappy about that. So if we open up the population tab over here, you can see how everything affects us. So right now the housing quality is not great. The housing quality is 1 for 16 villagers. We don't have that. We have 8. So people are only working at 87% productivity. Instead of 100. The more you have with farms and berry gathering and stuff, so the more like food you have, the more variety of food, the better housing, and the better accommodations for your villagers, the harder they work. So that is why we are focusing on getting housing. As you can see, each time we build something, our productivity will increase. But we are at day 1. Our tent's constructed down here. We're at 93% productivity. And if I fast forward a little bit, People will start building that, and we will soon become 100%. All right, so we have room for 18 people. And if we zoom out here, we see that we have some nomads out in the distance. That's going to probably be, I would say, 4 or 5 people that are going to join us. So I'm going to make sure that we have enough for 20 people. So we'll have that built. And then I am going to, let's see, we'll probably put the kitchen here. And that means I will put farm. Put the farm over here. Let's see. So we'll have storage up in here. Yeah, kitchen here. Farm there. All right, so let's go ahead and get this done. All those people were just standing around. That was wasting time. It was not great. All right, and then our berry gather. As we build the berry gather, we can see that we have an efficiency rating there. That's efficiency 71, 80, 89. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and have that built over here, and I'm going to put it as a higher priority. And the berry collector can collect, we can have 3 people working there. So all these berries will start getting collected, which is going to be fantastic. Another thing we want to work on is water well. Air well is what it's called. There it is. So an air well. Let's see, I will put an air well here and an air well there. No, I will not. Just kidding. Because I'm going to have another kitchen there. So I'll put an air well here and an air well there. There we go. We can have a path through there so that way the scientists can work there. And this berry, every time they you know, cut down the berries, we get 4 berries from them. And you can collect the berries with the berry gatherer, which is what we're building right here. So this is going to be a huge asset to us, especially with an 89% efficiency. That is going to help us tremendously. Just go ahead and make sure. There we go. We'll put a road in there. I was careful to avoid the berries. We also want to cut this down, so hopefully the berries can kind of spread. And the less stuff we have here, that also means the less toxic plants that can spread on our plants on the Onbu's back. So that's why we're going to chop this down. We're going to kind of just make a clearing around that berry gather there. Got our air wells being built. We got farmers here. Got 2 farmers. Let's go ahead and have them plant and harvest and give them some areas here, some plots. That should be plenty for 2 farmers. And what it takes to farm is they need water. And that's why we're going to have the air wells. We're going to collect water from the air wells and time. We're also going to need storage. So I'll put a little storage bin right here that just will allow people to store things. All right, so everybody's working. Everybody's got their job to do. The Onbu's about to wake up. We can see the sleepiness is at 15% here. So that means the Onbu will wake up soon. A lot of rocks down here. A lot of rocks. We'll even take that mushroom there. So these big rock nodes here, these boulders, and then we have a tree, giant trunk here. You can eventually research things like the sawmill or the quarry and attach them next to these objects, and then you will mine out the resources there. So there's 200 here, 200 there, and eventually they will deplete. All right. So we are day 2. The Onbu has been sleeping for a little bit. And we don't have the resources. We don't have the wood there for the material storage. That's okay. We can see here that the humidity is normal, which means that we are producing free water every so often. So 2 of these, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. You can see that our farmers are planting these beets here, doing their job. And we have to take a look here. So we have 6 people employed, which means that we have 2 people in here, 2 people in there, and then 2 people over here. I'm going to put a 3rd in here, so that means that we're going to have 7 people employed and 9 people just kind of doing everything. I will add a 3rd person here as well. And if they need more plots, we can put down more plots, but I think that should be sufficient for the number of people we have. We'll eventually need, and it's flickering off and on that it's needing resources. I'm not sure why. I don't really know why it's saying. All right, so we finished that research project here. So the village doctor or the scavenger hunt. I really want to go with the scavenger hunt, but the issue that I'm thinking that we're going to run into is we don't have the refinement researched yet. So I'm going to go ahead and open the tree. Scavenger huts are really important. Food stand is pretty decently important. The warehouse is going to be vital for our storage needs. And of course we got the huts, which are improved housing. And also offers some protection against poisonous air. And then down here we have the cottages, which take even more refined materials, which are the best housing we can get at the game at the time. Let's see. We'll eventually need the sawmill and the tree nursery, but I think I'm going to go with the horn blower right now. And then I'm going to try to focus on refinement. So hornblower, which will allow us to give commands to the Onbu, and then we'll go with the Onbu doctor, and of course, pet the Onbu, because really, are you playing the game if you're not petting the Onbu, right? So we got our 2 researchers out and about doing things, even though we need them not to do that. Let's go ahead and set a priority. Oh, Onbu's waking up. Onbu got up. Man, I missed it. We'll have to see him next time. So the Onbu is now moving. That was our initial starting spot. We're going to run into our nomads and then the eating spot down here. Let's see. So kitchen's going to go here. Refinement's going to go over here. So we'll get the carpenter here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put the carpenter up here. We'll put our other road coming out this way. And then we will put our stone cutter up here. I know they don't have the materials for this stuff, and that's okay. We're going to go ahead and do a priority cut on things. So we're going to go ahead and chop down trees. And then I'm going to prioritize that. And every now and then you can hear the boom of the Onbu stepping. Our priority is going to be trees. Lower priority is going to be these rocks down here. And then once we have the materials, we'll build these. Look at that. Look at that guy. What a good dog turtle creature. All right, so we're about ready to hit our first event, which is gathering the nomads. And we do have some beets in here. It's Dr. Dre. All right, so we have our kitchen. This is where we said we were going to put our kitchen. So we'll go ahead and put that down there. And do we have the resources? Oh no, we have to clear this out. I don't think we have the resources now, because we need refinement for the kitchen. All right, so our first event here. You've encountered a small group of nomads looking for a new home. Will you let them join the village? Absolutely. So we'll commit to that statement. And we have 3 people coming in. So that's 3 additional workers, and they're already housed. So that's why I wanted a total of 20 housing. So we got 3 new people coming in. So 11 unemployed people, which is fine. I do eventually want a workers post, which gives people a small movement speed when they're employed by the workers post. So we'll try to build that at the same time we're building these guys up here. Got enough stone for that. We're lacking wood, but we are working on that. Taking down the forest that was on the Onbu's back. I'm sure this helps them, you know. And everybody's eating raw berries right now. Our food details, we are gaining 8 food every 24 hours. We have 66 raw food, no refined food or processed food. And then we are consuming 30-ish berries and producing 42 due to the berries over here, our beets. So that's nice. All right, so let's just go ahead and speed up the game a little bit so we can go ahead and start the process of doing things. We have the wood for the carpenter, so we'll build that. We have the wood for the material storage, so things will start going in there. We'll have 1 person as a carpenter, and they'll just take raw wood and refine it into planks. So 3 wood into 2 planks. So we do lose out some raw wood, raw materials, but that's the cost of refining. All right, this place contains some fresh food for the Onbu, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that now, so we can see the food down here, the mushrooms. We'll see if the Onbu stops and eats, although the hunger is not there, so it looks like he's gonna pass it by. That's okay. Let's see what our next thing. We got a sleeping spot up ahead. It's possible that he's tired enough to sleep there, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we're expediting. We got 21 wood, so the people are bringing the wood back to the material storage now, which is good. That's part of what we wanted them to do. Once they chop down stuff and head back, they'll do that. All right, I'm gonna put down a couple extra plots here, because it does seem as though we're running out of space with our beet farm. The White Shroot would be proud. He's so proud. Alright, so we have enough stone here now. Might have to expedite some of the stone cutting, because I think we've cut most, if not all, cut most of the... expedite some of that stone cutting. Or prioritize it rather, not expedite it. That as our top priority, so I'd like to get the stone cutter built. Alright, so we've got people on the worker post here, and we're gonna just have them as general workers, so they're gonna basically have the same jobs as they would if they were unemployed. However, workers gain a small speed boost in their movement, which, even though it's a small speed boost in their movement, that's going to make their productivity skyrocket, right? Because you're moving back and forth quicker. So if we look at, let's see, one of our people, you can see how he's moving slightly faster than someone who is not employed. There's no way to differentiate them, though, between being a general worker or not. Overall, not bad. Just got 5 people with speed boosts going on. We'll have stone-cutter in here. We've got... how much? We got 4 wooden planks. We need 10, so that's pretty good. We're building our stone-cutter right now. Fantastic. Fresh air. Ah, so we just hit our sleeping spot. So this is a sleeping spot for the Onbu. They may or may not fall asleep here. It really depends. It looks like he's gonna lay down and take a nap. Night night, little guy. You took us pretty far. Enjoy. The great thing about the sleeping spots is there's no toxins in the air. So there's no toxins in the air or on the ground. These sleeping spots are free of all poisons. But when we eventually do a big yawn, What a big yawn. Good boy. But when we eventually get to an area like the jungle, oh, what's that? Cold snap. Gonna be even chillier. And I'm gonna try. Oh, we don't have the hornblower built yet. But when we get to spots that do have poison and we run into these sleeping areas, it's going to be a godsend. Alright, should have one person as a stonecutter, one person as a carpenter. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then... what's up with my air well? Oh, we're full. Oh, alright. Let's get a water tank in here. Put a water tank right down here. So that way we can, let's get this chopped down. That one too. That is a secondary priority. We'll get this chopped since it's right next to our farm and we may need to expand out there. So that way, this water tank will be able to store 100 water. So we can take the water that's stored in here, put it in the water tank, and then continue getting water. So this one is not full because people from the farm keep yoinking it, which is expected. As you see there. Alright, so research is done. So let's take a look at our tree. So we got the hornblower there, but we're going to need refined wood. Let's go ahead and start researching the scavenger hunt. I'd like to get that going relatively quickly. And if we see that we're running into the desert, we'll stop and we'll start doing cactus plantations because you can harvest water from cactus. Without water, everybody dies. We don't want that. That's never a good thing. Alright, chopping down that tree. Don't have a lot of stone storage. That's okay. Let's go ahead and take this stone up here. Anbu woke up once again and we are on the move. There we go. Let's take a look at our boy. Look at you. Alright, so we are going to hit this cold snap. It's not going to be great as we make our way through there. But what can you do, right? We gotta take our licks and keep moving. I would like to build the hornblower, but really that's not a super priority for me. So we're just gonna continue going. I'm gonna have people gather this stone so we can get this. I really want to get our kitchen built so then we can have some cooks. See the snow as we make our way through this cold snap. And as we do, our farm freezing and cold with beets is kind of the same production rate. That's okay. And we don't even have a extra spot for beets, so all these beets are just there. We need this built as soon as possible. I think I'm going to put 2 additional people in here so we can start manufacturing our stone slabs quicker. And then the other people will continue working on this. So if we look, we only we only have 2 unemployed people. Everybody else is doing a job. Also, we have to keep in mind that we have 5 that are general workers. Wow, that was hard to say. We have 7 total people that are kind of like doing things around the village. Everybody else has a specific job. All right. All right, now we got 20 stone in here, which is great. We've got 8. So this will be done soon, and that means the kitchen will be done soon, and then we can have chefs. So I'll probably drop 1 or 2 people out of here. So we have enough of that. Perfect. All right, so we're going to start manufacturing this in just a moment because we do have... Drop 2 people out of there because that means that we're going to have chefs here in a moment. And I'm going to take and make beet soup since we don't have any more storage for beets. And we'll have 2 cooks. We'll eventually need more. And then this, as soon as we start making our beet soup, it will increase our productivity even more. Boom, people will start eating the soup. So for every 3 beets, we get 5 soup. So it's a pretty good trade-off. See everybody bringing in beets here, stock in the kitchen. And then our farmers now feel like they have purpose as well. Our cooks definitely have purpose. Everything's looking up. Everything's looking up. All right, it does look like we decided to go south. By we, I mean the Anbu decided to go south, and we're just along for the ride, you know what I mean? So we do have a feeding spot down there, but I do believe that's what we're going to call it for today. As you could probably tell by just the way I was talking about this game, I love this game. Again, Strafe Studios, this is the Wandering Village. I'll probably do some more videos on it, but appreciate everyone being here. Thank you all very much for the support. Until next video, toodles.